Welcome to the Art of Pivoting Your Life, Breaking Free and Crafting Change. I'm Michelle Carbone, a clinical hypnotherapist and intuitive coach. You can call in for guidance and coaching on making a pivot in your own life. The number to call is 516-623-1240. As always, we have plenty to talk about if nobody calls in, but we'd love to hear from you too.
Today, I thought I would focus on sustaining love because I think that's something that we can all do. So, unless you do call in, we'll be talking about some tips to help you sustain love, make it grow and flourish. And, some of these things are really simple, but it comes down to being committed to following through and implementing these in your relationship, or if you're not in one, in your future relationship. Because, at our core, we all want to love and be loved. And these are just some of the things that can help us express that. The first one is gratitude. And I'll just tell you, I am in a relationship, and my partner is just the most grateful person. It is so wonderful. He set this pace of us being very grateful for each other. So we, he sort of set that tone, but we both are constantly thanking each other for even little things, because it's wonderful to feel appreciated and to not feel taken for granted. And, I think we get really busy in life, and it's just so easy for us to take our partners or even our friends for granted. Like, these are tips that you can use in your friendships too, right? Because those are important relationships as well. And, it's easy for us to forget that something someone does for us is a choice, and they're making that choice to be there for us. So being grateful is the best thing we can do to show appreciation and encourage that continued assistance. And, so that our friends and partners don't feel that, they're being taken for granted. And, gratitude can be through words, actions, and, or even leaving little notes. So some tips for gratitude would be to thank each other for everything. Even the smallest tasks that someone does, like doing the dishes, taking out the trash, complimenting you, helping with kids if you have kids, making um, dinner. My boyfriend and I even thank each other for coming over, for spending time with the other one. It's really beautiful to just giving genuine thanks and having that be received and also returned. The reciprocity of that is just so great. And when you're seeing the good and not the negative aspects in the person, you're going to keep seeing the good, because we get what we look for. So if we're always looking for things to be thankful for, we're going to continue to find things to be thankful for. And we can really keep the romance alive by spending uninterrupted time together and just remembering everything that that person brings to your life and express it. Um, Even just the little things like watching movies together. Thank you for holding my hand. Thank you for comforting me, whatever. The other thing that you can do with gratitude is to start a gratitude journal, and each of you write your appreciation about the other every day. And I follow a lot of the Abraham Hicks work, and if you're not familiar, Ask It and Is Given is the first book in their series. And in that, there are processes. And one of the processes to help shift your relationship is called the rampage of gratitude. or actually, it's the rampage of appreciation, but same thing, right? And it's basically you just keep a journal, and every day you write everything that you appreciate and love about that person. And what that's doing is in some ways it's rewiring your brain on what to look for. So you're working with your neural pathways, but it's also giving you something to focus on that is positive. So doing a gratitude journal, and let's say you write 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever things that you're grateful for about your partner. And maybe you have even a gratitude jar and you put those things in the gratitude jar. And when you have a fight, or when you're feeling disconnected, or when you're feeling unappreciated even, you can go to this jar and pull something out and see what your partner wrote. You each have your separate jars. So it's just, this is very simple, but it can really make a difference in the dynamic of your relationship. And I can just, I can tell you from experience, I was married for 25 years and got divorced, and I left about 2 years ago. And, this relationship is completely different. And in part because it's filled with gratitude. So that's like my number one tip is gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Living in gratitude, even in other parts of your life, it can really shift things. Something else for sustaining, growing love is doing something exciting or scary. Studies show that our body's fear response is similar to sexual arousal, which you probably knew, and that when we do things that create excitement and push us outside our comfort zones together, that is going to increase feelings of intimacy and connection. So what are you scared of? Me personally, don't like roller coasters or heights. So I could see that if I did get brave enough and had my partner with me, that would definitely help me feel connected to him, because I know he would be comforting me and encouraging me and, helping me live outside my comfort zone a little bit. So, imagining what you're not comfortable with, what's scary, or what may just be exciting. Another thing is visiting a new place, learning something together, discovering new things together. New experiences can build your connection by building positive memories. And you strengthen your bond when you feel like you're exploring life together. So just think about, I know when I'm was on dating sites and stuff, people are like, come on an adventure with me. That's great. We should, because the more positive memories we have, the easier it is to not put too much emphasis on the few negative experiences that might come up. And isn't that nice? Don't we want to think about the positive memories and the good times? It's also going to give you things to talk about to others and each other, which is also going to reinforce your bond. And this also helps keep the relationship from becoming stagnant. And if you're worried about money, hey, get on Groupon or Living Social, see what's there, that's out there that you can do that's inexpensive. Or even just finding a new park, go play disc golf. There's lots of things that you can do. Another thing is volunteering together. And this is something that my boyfriend and I have done together. And, when you're giving back as a couple, it helps you put things in perspective and appreciate the things that you have. And also many times volunteering is helping us let go of petty things, since it reminds us of how lucky we truly are. And it's also just fun to help other people. So, find a volunteer opportunity. There's lots of them out there. Another something simple that you can do is going on a trust walk. And if you're not familiar with that, in this activity, one person is going to lead the other. One person's blindfolded or eyes closed, and you're going to go for a walk. And you would each take turns being the blindfolded person. And this is a fun activity that, you can do anytime for short or long periods of time. You can walk around the neighborhood, you walk in a park, and it helps you let go and let the other person guide you, as well as helping you develop or deepen the trust that you have for each other. Because obviously, when you can't see, they're your eyes. And that's just something that really helps you build trust. You really have to let go with that. Another thing is cooking a meal together. Very simple, right? Have a nice night. Decide, hey, once a week we're gonna make dinner together. And, cooking together can be a really great bonding experience. And if funny things happen, like for my Schitt's Creek fans, if you're folding in the cheese and you don't know what folding in the cheese means, you can have a, funny story to tell people about how you didn't know how to fold the cheese. Um, Something else that's kind of funny is just playing silly games like thumb wrestling. And it seems silly, but it brings us back to when we were kids and gives us an opportunity to be silly. Even something like Simon Says, where you take turns asking the other person to do silly things. Being goofy, silly, laughing with your partner can really deepen that connection between the two of you. And who doesn't want to laugh and play and turn into a 5-year-old again? Even just when I was a kid, I don't know about you, but I loved spinning. I would just spin in the living room until we got dizzy and fall down. Of course, being an adult now is not as short of a fall, but it can still be a lot of fun to spin around and even get dizzy. Obviously, date nights. Date nights are so important, I think, in a relationship that's romantic, or even with your friends, having a monthly get together, weekly, whatever you can afford time wise. But take turns planning the dates. So, one person can take 1 week, the other person can take the other week. And what that's going to do is help the mental load of the person who's not planning that week to not have to think about this evening. I know my partner is going to plan us a great night. And if you're indecisive, which a lot of us are, I know my partner and I are, you can play the 5-3-1 game. And what that is one person names 5 choices, the other person vetoes 2 of those choices, and then the first person eliminates the remaining 2. So you're just sort of narrowing things down together. And, date night is just that great time to reconnect, have fun, maybe do something exciting. Like in my area, there's an adult night at a museum. That's a really funky museum, sort of like Meow Wolf, if you've ever heard of that. But they do this adult night, so there's no kids there, and you can have a little bit more of a fun romantic experience in this museum and laugh because all of the art is generally hilarious. So it can just be a really great time on a date night to go to a museum or something interesting like that. And if you're a funny kind of person like me and my friends, we make poses with the paintings and things and just have a really good time. Spending time with other couples can also be a great thing that brings you together. Couples that have great relationships can be a great example, reinforce values and commitment, helping your relationship grow. So finding like-minded couples that, you feel are really solid in their relationship are great to hang out with. And at the same time, it can also create excitement and fun. And if the couple isn't in the best relationship, it could possibly make you feel better about your own. So, it's good. And with those other couples or without, playing games, card games, board games. My partner and I recently played a game called Trains, which was really interesting. Although I wasn't playing, I was the distributor of the cards. And man, it was so much fun. We were playing with another couple and their kids, so much laughing. It was a great time. And, it was a great way to connect with each other, not have the TV on, just really be dedicated with each other. Another thing is just surprising your love with something. Pretend it's a special occasion. Come home with a little gift, or maybe you've cooked your partner's favorite meal. Maybe you booked a little getaway for yourselves, flowers, whatever. Just having these little surprises, even leaving a note, in their car, make them some lunch. These surprises will keep some excitement alive and prevent you from getting stuck in a rut. and something for ways to connect, build for the future, create intimacy. One of the things that's difficult for many people is having deep discussions. So create a habit, make time to discuss your day with each other. Discuss something you would like to change within your daily regimen. Like they can support you in that. Talk about your dreams and your hopes. Meaningful discussions build friendship and connection. So, remember that we all change through time. And you want to ask questions as to how they're feeling about all kinds of stuff. Getting past that superficial day-to-day conversation and dive deeper and truly know your partner. Find out their perspective on something. Look at something interesting. This is something interesting that you might look into is Duncan Trussell has a podcast. And if you're not familiar, he's a comedian. He also did the show Midnight Gospel. But he recently on his podcast talked to a unfiltered AI, and very interesting to me. The little bit that I've heard, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but looking at something interesting you heard on a podcast and like, let's talk about it. What do you think about this? Or even listening to it together and then talking about it and getting their perspective, getting their views. How do they see the world? Because then you're getting to know them more intimately. You're really creating that connection. Creating a bucket list, or get out your bucket list if you already have one. And let's start working on these. How do we plan to make these a reality? Can we get 3 of these items off your list? Is it visiting a ghost town, or traveling to certain states, or going skydiving? There's lots of things on people's lists. And maybe as you talk about the list, you'll come up with some really amazing stuff together, and it'll really help you connect. Even just talking about doing those things together can really help you connect. And establishing goals together. Our relationships grow when we're working towards something together. Goals can be financial goals, like saving money for a vacation, or it could be a fitness goal. Maybe you want to run a half marathon together. Working through your goals helps you feel like you're a team. And that's really what you want to see your partner as. And that's why I generally use the word partner is, you want to be equal, and you want to, live this life together and contribute, both of you, to your lives. Even little things like having a massage night, because touch does build intimacy and connection. And it doesn't even have to lead to sex, you guys. You can just massage each other, and then you can snuggle while you watch a movie, while you're talking, or just snuggle and be together. Snuggling and touching is so important in our intimate relationships. And sending a romantic text, let them know you're thinking about them. Don't be afraid to send something a little spicy. You can spice things up. It doesn't have to be, vulgar. But the messages that you send each other can build anticipation for when you'll see each other again. Telling them that you love them, that you miss them, that you admire them, encourage them, hope they have a good day. All of that kind of stuff is something that can really help you build that relationship. And also, kiss each other like you mean it. You don't have to just have a little peck and it's routine and dull. Make it a point to kiss your partner daily, and a real early relationship energy kind of kiss where you're really feeling the love that you have for this other person. And flirting, we stop flirting with each other. We stop trying to attract the other one, right? Because we already have them. So trying flirting, because you probably haven't flirted in a while, and it's fun and easy to flirt. So get out there and get a little flirty. And the last tip that I have is greeting each other with excitement. Pretend that you're a dog and that your partner is your master coming home. If you don't have a dog, let me tell you how dogs greet you. They greet you like they haven't seen you in 100 years, and they are so flippin' happy to see you that sometimes they pee themselves. Like they're so excited. So greeting your partner with joy, with happiness, it really sets the tone for the rest of your time together. I mean, imagine if you come home and someone greets you and says, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so happy to see you. I love you," gives you a hug. Maybe they come to the door, they give you a kiss, and they're like, "So glad that you're home. I've been missing you." You know, you can just really set the rest of your time together up for being even more beautiful. And it's amazing. So that's my show for today. Thank you guys for being my listeners and joining me on these adventures. And we will talk to you guys next week.